Hi guys, my name is Flats and welcome to my channel. On the internet I found a list with all the general goods vendors in World of Warcraft TBC. I thought to myself, how long will it take to visit all the NPCs in TBC and then mostly the part of Eastern Kingdom and Kalimdor. To complete this journey I have a few rules for myself. The rules are simple: take no for iPad, don't die, only walking, and you can use vehicles like the deep run tram or the boat. For the rest there aren't any rules, so let the games begin. Okay, ready to start, but before we really go on the road I first put on some comfortable shoes, because it will be a long journey and I don't want to hurt my feet. Let's see the first general good vendor upstairs. Bingo! Let's go to the next general good vendor in Dolanar. Hey, handsome guy. We arrived in Dolanar and the second NPC is upstairs. 2 minutes and 30 seconds have already passed. The first two vendors went very smoothly and I thought this job will take at most an hour or two. But man, what was I wrong? From Dolanar we went to Darnassus, and in Darnassus there are two general good NPCs. One on Warrior's Terrace and the other one on Trademan's Terrace. And after this we're going to Darkshore, and I hope the boat is on time. And otherwise we have to wait a long time for the boat to arrive. In the meantime I found the second NPC in Darnassus, so up to the boat mateys! Unfortunately my luck is not on my side and I have to wait on the boat. So I'm praying that it will be arrived soon.
2 hours later.
My prayers has not been answered and I had to wait 5 minutes for the boat to arrive, and now it's time to go to Darkshore! On the way on the boat I am enjoying the view, but I'm easily distracted, so I jump into water hoping to get the vendor faster. And there he is, guys, the 5th vendor in Aberdeen, Darkshore. Now it's time to go to Ashenvale. 26 minutes have already passed on the timer and we're now in Ashenvale, the 6th vendor. After that we go to Felwood, and from us, Stranar to Felwood is a very long journey. So far it's going smoothly, but the road from Ashenvale to Felwood is very long. It takes about 21 minutes to receive the next vendor in Felwood, and first I couldn't find him. He was hiding behind this building. And from Felwood we go to Timbermalhold. This is the path to go to Winterspring. And I'm a shaman and it's really cold in Winterspring, so I first have to kill a bear for a nice pelt. And lucky I have my fire totems with me. So the cold doth bother me anyway. We arrived at the 8th vendor, and from Winterspring we're going back to Moonglade. So we need to go to Timbermalhold, and in Timbermalhold we have to go left. So we will take the path to Moonglade. I play WoW for a long time, but I didn't know that you could go from Timbermalhold to Moonglade. I always thought that the only way to go to Moonglade was teleporting if you was a druid. But I was wrong. 1 hour and 1 minute has already passed on the timer. And yeah, and we're almost in Moonglade. This will be the 9th vendor, but we need 22 to go. Yo, Moonkin bitch! Your favorite shaman is here! Where's your general good vendor, man? So I can buy nice things from him! Beam! Ah, there he is! In Nighthaven. I have found the 9th vendor in Nighthaven, and 1 hour and 5 minutes have passed by on the timer now. And after this we're going to Timbermalhold again. We're going to pass through Felwood and then go back to Ashenvale, and we take the talent path to Stonetalon Mountains. One of the rules is that I can't use any flight paths, so I need to do everything by foot, and that's why it takes a long time. In the meantime, we are arriving at the Talon path. This is the cave that combines Ashenvale and Stonetalon Mountains. It's not really a zone for the Alliance, and I've been here a few times before, but I have to go through this cave to go to the next vendor in Stonetalon. The vendor is at the very top of Stonetalon Mountains. I will show you on my map, it's by the flight path. And we arrived at the 10th general good vendor, but first I need to take this flight path. The vendor is in the next building, as you call Charlina. After this we go to Desolace, and that's a weird zone. I've never been there in my whole life. I'm playing WoW, and that's been 13 years now. I know it's a long time, but it is a fun game to play. Yeah, so we take the path hallway Stonetalon Mountains and we go to Desolace. The next vendor will be in Nigel's Point in Desolace. Christy Calvanis. I don't know where exactly to find her, so it's going to be a bit of a quest. But yeah, well, it's about questing, yeah. So a little more or less searching doesn't matter. In the meantime, there's already past 1 hour and 15 minutes on my timer. The next zone will be Fabulous, and Fabulous has a very nice environment, but I always found it a pain in the ass to level up. This was mainly due to all the heights difference. So we now gonna take up the boat to Feathermoon Stronghold, and I hope I'm just in time so I can step on the boat. I'm praying with all my life. I've been just in time on the boat. So please, 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 please. Be a good boat. Be a good boat. Yes, yes. I'm gonna make it. We arrived in Feathermoon Stronghold, and we're looking for the NPC Farallorn. And after this NPC, we're going to Tanaris. I thought it was easier to go to Unguro Crater, but there isn't a path from Feathermoon Stronghold or Feralus to Silvdus. So I have to travel through Feralus and then travel through the 10,000 Needles to end up in Tanaris. And that was a long journey. It took 31 minutes to reach Gadgetzan. I always thought the vendor was also in Gadgetzan, but it seems to be in Steamweedle Port. So I first was searching in Gadgetzan, but I didn't find the NPC. After I looked on the web and saw that he was in Steamweedle Port. So I had to travel west of Tanaris to pick up the NPC there. And I then continue my journey to the east of Tanaris and then go to Unguro Crater. Meanwhile, 2 hours and 38 minutes have passed on my timer, so it's time to go to Unguro Crater. And Unguro Crater was my favorite zone to level. I was always shocked by the Devil's Sword that suddenly gasped in your neck when you were leveling nice and quiet. But luckily, didn't suffer from it today. Hey. We arrived by the 14th NPC Nurgle in Unguro Crater. And after Unguro Crater, we're going back to Tanaris. 2 hours and 49 minutes have passed by on the timer. So let's go to Tanaris. Travel to the 1000 Needles and pick the elevator to go straight to the Barrens, and from the Barrens to Ratchet. And in Ratchet it's the 15th NPC we visit today, and already 3 hours and 23 minutes have passed by on the timer. The last NPC in Kalimdor is in Dustwallow Marsh, and after that we're going to Eastern Kingdom. And the last NPC in Dustwallow Marsh has been found. I did not expect that Kalimdor alone takes 3.5 hours to visit all the NPCs. I'm very curious how my journey through the Eastern Kingdom will be. So let's find out, guys. The first step is to get to the wetlands. From Terramore there is a boat that goes to the wetlands. I accidentally reset the timer, so we'll add boat times at the end of this trip. There are 2 NPCs who sells general goods in wetlands. The first one is a tiny house in Manitou Harbor, and the second one is a Manitou Keep in the Great Castle. And after receive the second NPC, we are going to Arati Highlands. The NPC in Arati Highlands is in the refugee point. It's in the middle of Arati Highlands, and after we collect this one, we are going to South Store. The journey starts a lot smoother in Eastern Kingdom than in Kalimdor. I also feel like it's going much faster. After South Shore, we're going straight to Alterac Valley. There's only one problem there, and that is that you can't visit the NPC because I cannot enter the battleground on my own. So I only go in and then walk to the end of the cave until I can't go any further. And yes, I reached the end, so I need to go back now. From Alterac Valley we went back to Arati Highlands and then travel through the wetlands back through Dun Algas, and then finally we will arrive in Lochmoden. And meantime in Lochmoden we have to visit 2 NPCs. One can be found in Telsamar in the Stout Lager Inn, and the other one will be in Lochmoden in Farstrider Lodge. In the meantime, there's already 41 minutes on the counter, but we have already visited 7 NPCs in Eastern Kingdom up to Farstrider Lodge, and after we found this NPC we need to travel to Dunmorrow to go to Karanos, and there's an NPC in the inn. The exact name of the inn is Thunder Brew Distillery. And I found this little fella, and the next one is in Coldridge Valley. This is the starting point of the dwarves. The vendor calls Edlin Prydrift, and it is directly behind this little car. And then we will head back to Karanos to continue our way to Ironforge. When we have arrived in Ironforge, we will take the deep run tram to Stormwind and then look for the last 4 NPC of this journey. We've got our hands on the 26th NPC for now, and now we are going to the deep run tram. I hope we don't have to wait too long there. Oh, it's waiting for me. Be a sweet little tram and please don't make me wait, baby. Yes, exactly on time. From the deep run tram we walking in through Stormwind, and we can here visit the 27th vendor, and after this vendor we going to one of my favorite songs, Elwyn Forest. I think everyone who plays WoW know this song and have started at least one character there. I've actually been here for 1,000 times, but honestly had to search for this NPC. After this NPC we're going to the starter song for the human race. And the NPC is right in front of me by the car. 1 hour and 80 minutes has now passed on the timer, and the next NPC will be in Red Ridge Mountain. And after we pick up this one, the last will be in Duskwood. Duskwood is also one of my favorite songs. It's nice to quest here, but you were always shocked by Stitches when he was patrolling on the road. In the meantime, I've completed my journey. My journey in the Eastern Kingdom was a lot shorter than it was of Kalimdor. I completed this one in 1 hour and 30 minutes. In total, this whole journey took me 5 hours and 2 minutes. I did not expect that there would be so much difference between Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdom. And I'm glad I found out, but I never do this again. So that was my journey through Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdom. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up and press the little subscribe button down below. And see you next time, guys. Bye!